Well, apparently we're
Give
live.
people a minute to catch up. I'm texting with Dylan. And Dylan said that he could make me some pickups for my projects next week if I didn't talk shot about his channel.
Why would you do that?
Well, I guess I don't know. So
okay. Hey Ryan, how you doing? Ryan, I'm looking forward to seeing Ryan next week. And guys, I don't know what's going on, but we were just talking. It didn't look like it was
we
buffering.
Started talking about time management, and then it died.
Oh, mercy.
We'll see how long it lasts this time. Hey, we got one guy watching. That's pretty good.
Look, Ryan's here, Zed is here, Bush is here, Sean, Mike Beckloff, Dastardly Dave.
Cooking again.
So,
Lord.
Yeah, I don't know
this internet is so cool.
Okay, here's the thing. We're actually plugged into the internet.
I think it's, something else going on today.
Okay. Hi, Dan. I don't know what's happening.
You know what it is? YouTube hates us.
YouTube probably does hate us. So anyway, we were talking about time and how valuable it is and how people try to lowball you dollar-wise for time. And I don't really know where I'm going with this, but like I was saying, okay, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but this week, okay, hold on. First of all, nothing is wrong with me that I know of. The person that I went to visit in the hospital is fine as of right now. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I said that. The person who I went to see in the hospital is okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a procedure. It all went great.
Thank you. That's a much better way to say it.
It wasn't anyway.
Okay. So,
it wasn't Brian and it wasn't his thumb.
No.
Or his middle finger.
Yeah. You guys don't know who it is. Anyway. But if I haven't returned your email, it's because of that. I was busy doing that stuff this week. So Joel, if you're watching, Kevzilla, if you're watching again, I don't know. That's I haven't gotten back to you. And so I have no idea if Kevzilla heard what I was saying about his guitar, but if you're watching,
send us an email on what color you want, Kevzilla.
Yeah, your guitar is ready for color. We just don't know exactly the color that you want. And Chris sent you an email 60 days ago.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
At this point.
All right.
What happens is I do that, and then I get going on something else, and I completely forget about.
Yeah, you send the email, and then yeah. Okie doke.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Because it's not like there's not enough stuff to do here.
3J Music
really too much to do.
3J Music has an interesting theory. He says it's because you turned ads off.
I don't actually think I don't think it was a YouTube thing.
Wouldn't it be something though? So on this one, I just blew through. So there's going to be ads.
There's going to be
ads. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, but.
So you were saying Dylan was doing what now?
Oh, we were just going back and forth. And then apparently he was just giving me a hard time.
Okay.
Which is typical of Dylan to do to me. Yeah.
So Chris, let me see if I can in any other way describe this kind of notion that I have.
Okay.
Which is that time is finite. And we don't know how much time we're going to get. But we all know we're going to the same place. You know what I mean? Well, we are going to shrug off this mortal coil at some point.
We're going to go somewhere.
But yeah. And that's going to be it here. Our time here will be done, just like everybody else in history's is done.
Yeah.
Money, on the other hand, is very fluid. There's always ways to get more money. There's always ways to justify expenses. There's always ways to do this cash flow in, cash flow out thing. And it isn't always easy.
Right.
You know, but I know that I have a limited amount of time on this planet. I don't think that there's a limited amount of money that I can make.
Right.
You know, so my time has to have value, and there are a lot of YouTube guys out there who will tell you that expensive guitars aren't worth it. Now, this is not a discussion about inexpensive guitars versus expensive guitars, et cetera, et cetera. But there are guitars that cost more than others. And if you don't perceive a value in that, then I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But why are you on my YouTube page? You know what I mean? Like, for example, I did go to one YouTube content creator's video. He was talking about how he didn't think expensive guitars were worth it. And I said, I actually commented, I tried to be as nice as I could. And I'm like, you know, I'm trying to imagine a world of nothing but inexpensive, value priced commodity guitars. There's no craftsmanship that is exuded by these things. There's a lot of consumer product in it, and that's
a lot of factory in it.
Yeah. There's no mystique. There's no.
It's basically a coffee
artistic
maker. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, when you go to Amazon and you're looking for coffee makers, you go, well, yeah, I just need a coffee maker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you start, and maybe you don't pick the cheapest one, but you pick the second or third cheapest one, unless you're a big coffee guy, and then or you work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
I got to tell you,
anyway.
After Jason was here, he got me hooked on this this coffee that, and I'm like, coffee, I don't really care, but I am back in the mode of coffee as a luxury beverage.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love the idea.
I refuse to drink bad coffee.
Well, I don't
refuse it, but I'd rather not. And I don't go out of my way to get bad coffee.
Okay.
Or
now
to make
this
bad coffee. It used to be that I just made coffee every morning and it didn't really matter what it
this
was.
probably makes way more sense than my middle of nowhere coffee analogy from before. And I don't know how many of you guys heard that, but yeah, you don't go out of your way to find and spend money on crappy coffee.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
You make it, or you get some, or you get one of those pods at some place here in the shop or whatever, and you have a crappy cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think most pods make you a fairly marginal cup of coffee.
At best.
There's lots of convenience to that pod, and it goes from rotten to you know, it's and all places in between those two.
And if you're a coffee
but
guy,
you never go, God damn, that was a good cup of coffee. What was that? Keurig pod.
Yeah, that said no one ever.
No.
I you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm at a loss for words.
Holy cow.
But guitar buyers do that all the time.
Yeah.
They say this commodity guitar is every bit as good as the thing that, you know, the guys at Texas Toast built. Now, no one said that.
Well,
but
here's something that I think is kind of funny. And I think everybody can relate to this that watches us. Guys that can play guitar. And it doesn't matter if it's a really expensive guitar or a cheap guitar. It probably sounds like them. And so there's a lot of YouTube creators who can play guitar. And so they grab a cheap guitar and it sounds great because they can play guitar.
They can wail, yeah.
Doesn't mean that they really necessarily love that guitar. Doesn't mean that they wouldn't want to play something else. But for the job presented, it does the job.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't mean that that's their go-to guitar.
Can I interrupt you for a moment here,
Yes.
Chris? Kevzilla is back. And I don't know if he heard what I said earlier. Kev, I had to... I was in the hospital, not for myself. I was visiting somebody else. And I haven't gotten back to your email. I haven't been able to get back to a lot of emails. But we need to know what color you want your guitar. Apparently, Chris sent you an email 30, 40, 60 days ago. Maybe we have the wrong email address. Your guitar is ready for color. We just got to know exactly what color you want. If you can send me a picture. And remember, your guitar is Limba, so... Yeah, don't send me a picture of a flame maple guitar and say I want it to look like this because it won't, which you know.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, just let us know what color and it'll get buttoned up
Yeah.
Really quick.
Okay.
Not next week though, because we have class next
Well,
week.
maybe next week, because actually there's going to be a bunch of stuff happening next week, Chris. Mm-hmm. You never know. I've been here. So there's 2 guys coming for Chris's mystery workshop. I've been here when there's 6 guys, and everything gets painted. So it's actually sanded.
That's true.
So it's ready. It is literally ready for paint. So
yeah, it could possibly get painted.
I think there's going to be way more stuff get done next week than you think. I hope there's way more stuff that gets done next week than you and I both think.
Okay.
What do you? I'm just going to push and push and push.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So what do you think about this idea of I could have one good, I don't know what it is about guitar players. It doesn't matter. It's not just guitar players. It's like Dylan can back me up on this. It's gun guys, and it's knife guys, or it's bike guys, or it's pen guys, or it's motorcycle guys, or whatever. You just want lots of stuff. I think Americans like stuff. They're really good at opening presents. They're not good at enjoying presents. I fall victim to that too.
I do a little bit of that. Yeah, I think sometimes people take comfort in some of that stuff, the hunt and the getting it and the opening it and all of that kind of stuff.
But
There's
Lefty
a whole
was
world of people that like to tinker with stuff.
Lefty was attempting to argue and say that does it like on your deathbed you have to have a bunch of stuff. As a matter of fact, Lefty, no. My point was, if you're on your deathbed and you have all this crap, are you going to look back at your life and go, well, I sure am glad I had all that crap? Or are you going to go, man, I sure am glad I got to spend time with that really neat guitar. I sure am glad I got to spend time with those really cool people and making music, or whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
So, and it's probably the reason that you didn't get it is probably more my fault than yours, though it is your fault. The reason that you didn't get it is probably because I didn't explain it well. But really, you're not listening to what I mean. Okay? So just try doing that next time, and there you go. Here's another thing that bugs me. You know how many truss rod jigs we've sold this week?
A lot.
A gazillion. So many of them. Thank you guys for buying those. They are going out all the time. I've made a video instructional thing. They are really, really cool. In fact, I just routed 4 guitars today with one of the new truss rod jigs. I love them. I got a YouTube comment from a guy who's like, I don't like those kind of truss rods. And I'm like, okay, congratulations. I don't know. So my first comment back was, what kind of truss rods do you like? Nothing, crickets. Then somebody else was like, I like those truss rods because of this. And then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, those the Bitterroot truss rods are perfect. They're available, wildly durable, super strong. If you buy them 10 at a time, they're pretty cheap. Even if you buy one, they're very affordable.
I bought 2 today.
Oh, did you?
And even buying singles, I think they're $9 each.
Yeah, they're not particularly expensive.
And then I used TXTOAST at checkout.
Oh, did you?
And I saved 15%.
Nice.
Maybe.
Good deal.
And even shipping on 2 of them, it was like $5 or something like that. And yeah, I mean, it's an economical truss rod that does everything a truss rod does. And more, and easy to install, both directions, and easy to install.
It's a flat slot. Doesn't need to be in a curve.
Nope.
So this guy was, and so he's like, well, as a college educated engineer, and I'm thinking to myself, what other kinds of engineers are there? Bozo head, and so then he's like, he starts like kind of rattling off his bona fides to me of like all the stuff that he does, and I'm like, cool. Why don't I? So then I start thinking, why don't I rattle off my bona fides to you? Yeah. In the last decade, we built, I don't know how many guitars with those truss rods, but you guys have some of them.
It's got to be 1,000 now.
It's easily 1,000 of those truss rods.
How many failures?
0. Now we've had a couple other truss rods fail, but not those.
Yeah.
So and I'm like, you know what? no, this is probably some little kid. Because I looked at his YouTube page
Yeah.
and it's like, video game stuff. And it's not, he's
Pokemon
not an
shit.
engineer. It's some guy with it's
Well,
some doofus trying to act tough.
And his whole thing was, well, I've never personally needed the reverse bow, the frowny face.
Cool.
And it's like, okay, cool.
How many guitars have you built?
Well, where do you live? And what kind of climate do you keep? And a bunch of stuff like that. And really, I'd rather have it and never have to use it, never need it, than need it one time and not have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's no reason for you to hate a rod like that. I mean, they make single acting rods that are the same size. It's not like you're putting more rod in. It's not like you're putting 2 rods in.
No.
To you just flip that other one upside down, and now you got all the truss rod you'll ever need. So yeah, there's no reason to not use a double acting truss rod, and it's not exactly high tech. It's not like new for 2025, the dual action truss rod. But it's got some quirks. Don't get me wrong, but we're gonna work them out. It'll be fine.
I think that people. Okay. Here's another perfect example of your time has value. And if you spend it farting around with like dweebs on the internet comment section, then you're not valuing your time. I'm talking to me.
Yeah.
But
well, unfortunately, we have to, there's a little bit of that stuff that you just sort of have to put up with.
I actually deleted the comment. I'm like, this is dumb. I'm not doing
it.
But like how much of that time will I never, ever get back? All of it. Never get any of that time back. And I know for a fact that
it's not like overtime in soccer. Well, we didn't really play for 3 minutes, so we're gonna tack that on to the end.
No, and I'm thinking like when it's also, okay, I like to think that on my deathbed, I am actually going to say, I wish I would have worked more. But I don't think I'm going to say, I wish I would have argued with people on the YouTube comment section more. Maybe I will.
Perfect comeback for that guy, and now I'm dying. Dang. Write this down.
Yeah.
Then find that video.
Avenge me.
Tell him your mom said a trust rod bends.
Heavens to Betsy.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to turn into, really long story, slightly shorter. Life really is too short to play a crappy guitar.
Yeah.
Even if your cheap thing is just as good. And frankly, if you have to say it's just as good, that's sort of like saying, hey, did you get that joke? Let me explain it to you. It's not funny then. Okay. If you have to say it's just as good, it's not. All right, let's go to the comment section. Go ahead. No.
Well, it's sort of like, if something's important to you, then you probably want something nice. Right? Driving to work every day is important to me, but how I look doing it is not important to me. So I have a 98 Buick because it's, 50 miles round trip, and I don't want to tear up a nice car and, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to bicycles, I have all sorts of fun, cool bicycles.
Yep.
And, and bicycles are more important to me than my daily driver. So I have nicer bicycles.
Yep.
And and guitars, really, the guitars that mean the most to me are the ones that either I built or are, expensive guitars.
Who loves Texas Toast guitars is Vinny's World. And he's here and he says one of his bona fides is that he loves TTG. That's cool.
Let me tell you a little bit about, first of all, I've enjoyed Texas Toast guitars for a really long time.
Dust Devils has a very poignant and very timely comment. He says that he loves your t-shirt, Chris. He says, long live Jerry Jeff Walker. It's funny that you say that because Joy and I were just listening to Jerry Jeff Walker today. And she's like, how come you only play me that? She didn't say, okay, hold on. I want to make sure I get this right. Joy, I'm like, you like Jerry Jeff Walker? She's like, yeah, I think so. What are some of the songs? And I start rattling them off. And then I start playing some of them for her. And she's like, I've not heard this one. How come? I love this one, like LA Freeway and Desperados Waiting on a Train and stuff.
I don't know Jerry Jeff as well as I probably should.
We have that live CD of his over there.
I like that one.
There's all hits.
Yeah.
No
Well,
shits.
The funny thing is I mean, I can listen to that, but I'm not actively listening. I'm passively listening.
Yeah.
But I go, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Driddle says, I don't feel that we as grown-ass, mentally 13-year-old men need to justify things. God bless you, Driddle. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. And we were talking about this the other day, and I think there are some people that buy stuff because they're concerned about what other people will say. And that goes both ways, expensive and inexpensive.
I am not to read somebody's comments. Okay. Oops. Sorry.
Who?
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I'm not to do it. So,
okay. Yeah. But anyway, you know, I knew a guy that was embarrassed anytime he bought a good guitar because he didn't feel like he was worthy of it, but he kept buying them.
Mm-hmm.
But he had like really bad buyer's remorse. It was like, if you like
I
it,
get that.
You know, buy it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to put it in the corner, if you want to put it in the closet and never touch it, I don't care. If you got some sort of enjoyment from buying it, that's cool.
I couldn't agree more. And you know what? Life really is short. You might as well have the good stuff. You might as well have the good coffee. You might as well have the good guitar. Stop trying to convince yourself that the lower priced one is the same thing. It might
How
be
are you going to know
how about
unless
this?
you have the good one?
It might be a better value.
Yeah.
But there are some things that are intrinsic that you cannot put a price on intrinsically.
Right.
You know who can though?
It's kind of like going to a baseball game. And I know you've gone to baseball games.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to baseball games. Mm-hmm. It's fun to go to the baseball game.
I'm not a huge baseball fan. I love going to baseball games.
Doesn't matter the ticket. Mm-hmm. But if you get a really, really good ticket, like second row behind home plate,
yep,
that's a completely different experience than all the way out in the outfield, you know, in the hot sun.
Yep.
You know,
I tell you what,
is
though,
it just as good?
Man,
no.
Sometimes anytime going to the ballpark is fun. Let's go back to the comment section here. Bitmat says, "Don't read my comments." Then he says, "No pun intended." Bitmat has been posting a lot. Bitmat, I don't know if I have seen comments from you before. Are you new here? He says he has guitars he's never even played.
Mm-hmm. That happens. Sometimes I think the search is more fun than the actual. The actual thing.
He also says that
he's
he's into French presses and he only drinks that cat poop coffee. Hey, Jay Valenti says that he made it back. Woot.
There you go. Good.
You know what he said? Woot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a fan of the French press.
I like it. I don't have one, but I like it a lot.
I'm a fan of the Moku pot.
Yep. Stringwood Guitars, we're going to read your comments, buddy. Doc, who knows a little bit about this kind of thing, says that life is way shorter than you're going to want it to be. You know, and that's just it. You know, we don't know how long we got. So get the good guitar, eat the cake. I don't know. Go to Chicago and have the pizza. Go to New York and have the pizza. Go to I don't know, New England and have the clam chowder. Whatever. I don't do some fun stuff. Mm-hmm. What else? Come here. Build your own guitar. Like Jay and like Dennis and like Doc and like Driddle and like let's see who else has been here before. Mike Beckloff and let's see. I'm going through some of these other ones. Gosh, there's a bunch of you guys here. Like Sean and like Butch and like Dan and Dave and Doug and Zed and yeah. So anyway, okie dokie.
The fact that all these guys have come to a class, mm-hmm. at least one, often more than one, often lots, mm-hmm. and they keep coming back and they come here and hang out,
yeah,
is testament to how fun the classes are.
Yeah. Yep.
And the friends that you make.
Yep.
You know that is time well spent.
You know who I'm bitterly disappointed in?
Me again?
No, I mean someone who I'm not always disappointed in, but I'm totally disappointed in.
So obviously not me.
Yeah.
No.
Sean Joint, where's that guy been?
Oh,
I mean, he's here in the comment section. I would love it if Sean Joint came back.
I think Sean wants to come back.
I think he does.
I think
I'm just
yeah.
teasing him. Yeah, I would love it if Sean Joint came back.
Yeah.
Dylan talks tone. Absolutely, he's been out here.
We're supposed to talk shot about Dylan talks tone.
Some of the Rockies
Hard
tickets
to
are.
see his dog.
Bitmat says some of the Rockies tickets are $7, and you're probably paying $3.50 too much. No, it's. I guess they don't.
You can watch high school ball for free. It's the same thing as Rocky ball.
but you can see the other. You can see like the big name teams. I guess
It's fun. It's always fun because the park is fun, and but I mean, and so much of that is not about baseball. It's about all the other stuff. But if you get a good ticket to a good game and you're sitting right there, it's like, oh, this is about baseball, and this is a whole different thing.
You know who would love to go?
One really good ticket.
Yeah. You know who would love to go to a baseball game like at the drop of a hat? Miss Joy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what we should do? We should like just take the day off one day, get on the train right here, scooch down there, go see a game and enjoy it.
Can we get a hot dog?
We can get a bunch of hot dogs.
No, Chris, no hot dogs.
Yep. Stringwood Guitar says I need to come up there to do one of those classes for fun and pick up some new tricks. Well, I would love to teach you some new tricks. Butch says coming to the TTG workshops is one of my what am I in waiting for life choices. Okay, I understand now.
What have I been waiting?
Yeah. Bitmat says he's a longtime watcher and hiding. I'm sorry I missed some of your comment. Once I get going, it's hard for me to Curtis Chavez has a great one here. He says, meh, guitars are like meh coffee. I keep drinking cup after cup, but I'm rarely satisfied. On the other hand, I can get one great cup of coffee and I'm set for the rest of the day. I gotta tell you.
That's where I am right now. And sometimes I don't even need that really good cup of coffee just on the memory of the coffee the day before or something like that. I don't have to. It's like going to cafeteria food and none of it's good, but you keep going up and hoping to find something that's good. And pretty soon you've eaten way too much stuff and it's all terrible. I did that in college. Yeah. The cafeteria, it sucked.
Well, and that's what you do when you're young,
but it's the same if you go to like, country buffet or something like that.
You mean my health club?
Yeah.
I'm practically Charles Atlas compared to a lot of the people there.
But I mean, you could potentially eat a whole bunch of bad food and leave going, ugh, I feel terrible. And I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I mean, and one of the funny things, why in a world of strats at all prices, including the company that originally built them, why in the hell would you buy a glary Strat for $79?
I can't imagine.
What could you possibly expect from that?
Well, yeah, it's usually like, oh, I'm gonna modify it. You can fix them up. Yeah, really, it's just this turd
man, you can't hardly modify anything for double the price of that.
No.
So pretty soon you have $400 or $300 and a $79 guitar.
You know who has a better mustache than me?
Gary Redburn.
Gary Redburn has a better mustache than me, and he says he's in. He wants to go to baseball game when him and Jay are out here in August. Hopefully, there will still be Rockies baseball in August when you guys get out here.
Yeah, there should be a little bit. I think. Yeah.
I
don't pay any attention to the season. I watch. I think the Rockies are on a roll. I think they might have won 2 in a row.
I think they're on a different kind of roll. I think.
In a season when you've only won 13 games. 2 in a row is a big deal.
But you know what, Chris? Even if you're not a baseball fan, and again, I love baseball, but I'm not like I can't like recite names and stats and stuff.
Yeah,
man, I love and I don't want to watch it on TV.
No, it's boring.
It's not the same. I love going to the park and
Well, there's so much stuff going on, and it's, hopefully it's nice out and it's pretty, and
That what? That's the thing too.
Morgana the Kissing Bandit comes running out.
Oh, she had a very big front, as I recall. One of the things that you could say about a cheap guitar is kind of like watching baseball on TV.
Yeah,
you find out who wins, But it ain't the same as going to the ballpark and, having the $35 beer and you'll get that. You can make money again. If you are there at the baseball game, those are always good memories. Those are always fun things to do. And
yeah. And really, what I'd prefer is if guys say, I'm really into, buying cheap guitars and working on them and trying to turn them into something different. Usually it doesn't work. I ruin them, whatever. I'd much rather hear that than this guitar is just as good as all you have to do is these 15 things. Okay. How much did you spend on it? You could have just spent that on a guitar and been way ahead of the game, because you'll never get for that $79 Glary with $400 worth of parts. If you went to sell it, you'd get $60 for it.
Yeah,
maybe. Or you put I save all the original parts and I put them back on. Yeah.
Man.
So that's what I think. And if you enjoy buying cheap stuff and fixing it up and having fun with it that way, sure. But that's not guitar playing. No. That's not making music. That's
fiddling around.
That's fiddling around. That's puttering around the house, which I do a lot of. But yeah.
Tezzy Tim says one of my bucket lists is going to a baseball game. I don't know how they play a lot of baseball in.
I don't believe they do. Maybe that's one thing I don't know about Tasmania. One of the many things that I don't know about Tasmania.
Why don't you come over here and build a guitar with us in the summer and we'll go to a baseball game?
We should almost make that a thing every summer class.
That would be a fun thing to do. Bitmat says he has no excuse for not coming out here. He lives close and he's got a lot of free time.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Hey, dude, come on Monday. We'll build some guitars. Come to Chris's mystery workshop. We could probably sneak you in.
We could. Yeah.
Probably sneak you in. Brandon says that he loves baseball games, especially while enjoying homogeneous nachos.
Do they serve homogeneous nachos at the Rockies ballpark?
No, I don't.
At the Coors Field?
They ought to, but I don't think they do.
Do they sell Budweiser at the Coors Field?
I don't think they do. Yeah.
Coors Field is 30 years old this year.
Well, I'll be a son of a gun.
All right. Here's that bike.
Huh.
There you go.
All right, Chris. So I think we're finally at least I don't know what was going on with our feed in the previous video. Sorry that happened, guys.
I'm glad that everybody kind of stuck with us and didn't go outside and water the lawn. After well, that sucks. I'm gonna go wash the car. And came back and I'm glad they got to see us.
Yeah,
I'm glad they got to spend some time with us.
Jay says he's glad we came back too.
It was nice of us to do this for you.
Kevzilla is going to reach back out through email.
Okay.
Is there going to be a reveal tomorrow?
No.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
And you know what we're going to reveal.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't know we were going to show it off.
I think we should. Don't you think we should?
Sure.
It's a wildly cool thing. Hey, Doug is here. He says he's on the road again, and Doc made him do it. Doug, I hope you're doing good, my friend. Doc says he's glad we came back. He hates drinking alone. Doc, I would love to have you come back out and drink with us for a little bit. I don't drink very much anymore. I know that you guys think that all we do is sit around and tell fart jokes.
It's not all we do.
It's not all we do.
No.
Yeah. Although it is
beef sandwich.
It is oppressively hot today.
It is. I think it's 101 out.
I think there might be a little bit of cool beer drinking this weekend.
That sounds like a really good idea. I've been trying to enjoy the daylight, because we're coming to the turnaround. That always makes me sad. And I go, I didn't spend enough time outside. So I've been outside a lot. And the last couple of days, and today is going to be really bad, hanging out outside when I get home until dark.
Which is what, like 9 o'clock or
8:45, I think. It was up until last night. Yeah. You know what I was doing? Puttering around in the garage, which is not really the coolest place to do puttering in the heat.
Dylan says he has some really coolio pickups coming our way. I bet you they are for one of the new, I don't know how many are coming, but I bet you some of them are for the new Hustler guitar. I need to actually contact Dylan about some other really cool pickups that we need to get coming our way sooner rather than later. Stu says it's only 70 where he lives. I don't know, in Alaska. I don't know.
So this year, for people that usually we've had some hot weather, but not this year. This is like the first hot week we've had. So yeah, I don't mind the heat.
No, I like it. I rather like it. So anyway, gang, I don't know if we solved any of the world's problems tonight, but
I don't think we did.
We talked about time versus guitars. I don't know that I called out any YouTube channels. I guess I talked a little bit about YouTube. I don't know what I'm doing.
There's still time to tell people to go and watch Dylan.
Well, we're going to do that. Yeah. In fact,
maybe get a couple of jabs in.
Yeah.
Say it. If you got nothing better to do.
Amanda says it's going to be 114 where she is. Rod says it's 91 in Alaska. Hi, Rod.
114.
Woo.
Is that in Phoenix?
Yeah. Yep. Zed is in Arizona, and it's where it's always over 100.
Yeah. Even at midnight, it's over 100.
Yep. I remember, when I was at Roberto Van, I loved how hot it was.
Oh yeah.
And it was, it was so hot in the summer that when it was like 60 degrees in December, I was like, oh, it's so cold. So
that's the way people in California are. Oh, it's 68. I'm freezing. It was 70 yesterday and you were fine.
Butch says Dylan has good internet. Thank you, Butch. How very kind of you. Butch is he always likes to razz me. So anyway, it's just about time for us to turn over the reins to Dylan. There will be a reveal tomorrow. It's something that, let me tell you guys this, you have no idea what to expect. Well, you might, but I doubt it. What do you think? Does anyone know what it is?
No.
Yeah?
I don't think anybody knows what it is.
I can't imagine anyone's going to know what it is. But it's very cool. It's very fun. You're going to want something like it. I bet you. And I made the bridge for it.
And I made the nut for it.
Making bridges for electric guitars is something that I always think, I'm not doing that. And then I love doing it.
It's fun doing a one-off. But like we talked about, like gearing up, because it's not even tooling up, because there was very little tooling that was used. Is a little more daunting. Like I get to do 10 more of those.
Doing one is really a good time.
It's fun to see what you can do, but now you're gonna have to figure out a way to do it faster, because frankly it took you a little too long.
Did. Yep. Dylan, you did and didn't make the pickup for this one. So anyway, so guys, it's getting about time for us to call it a day. I've got to go wax my mustache, and Chris is going to go. Are you going to ride bikes today?
Not whack. No, it's too hot to ride. You got to do that first thing in the morning.
Okay. But I urge you guys to go over to Dylan, who, as Butch pointed out, has good internet service, and
and a button that goes
whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. And so I urge you to go over and hang out with Dylan and his lovely wife Leslie, and see what they're up to.
Guitars.
I'm not sure what they're going to talk about for guitar wise. Do you know what Dylan's plan is tonight?
But I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
Then it's Dawgs going to make an appearance.
Heck yeah, man!
Like a big hit with the crowd, and
totally. All right, so we'll see you tomorrow for a reveal, and you guys don't know how much good stuff is happening here right now. It's totally crazy.
Yep.
So we will see you tomorrow, and go say hey to Dylan for us, and take care, everybody. Have a great night.
Chris sent you.
There you go. Hold on, I got to push the button.
Yeah, push the button.
I can't figure out how to do it. It's giving me I know it's there we go. Okay, here we go. Now that's that for reals now.